video number 2 of exposing PCI corruption with Angelo Paparella at the top. In this video, we will learn about Angelo Paparella's second in charge, Eric Tincture. Anyway, Eric Tincture and his basically unethical business practices, because he is a coordinator directly under Angelo. And anyway, I received a a phone call, and I was in San Diego at the time. My good friend and coordinator who gives me work called me up and said, "Hey, how about you go to Florida? I got some work coming up." And I was kind of hesitant because I was kind of having some fun in San Diego. However, I do need to work for a living, so anyway, I agreed, and my coordinator also asked if I could manage a small crew of petitioners until he arrived in Florida. And I agreed. I was like, yeah, sure, whatever you need. I'll pick up the paperwork and the petitions and get everybody out in the field and get them working, and long story short, I left San Diego, and it took me about 2 weeks to make it to Florida. I had to stop off in Colorado on the way to pick up some of my belongings, and I made it to Florida, and I was given a number to call another coordinator who had the petitions that I was supposed to pick up for all of my coordinators' crew of people that I was going to manage. So I called up that number, which I was given, and it belonged to Eric Tincture. I did not know who Eric Tincture was. I'd never heard of him. But I called him up and told him that I just arrived in Florida and I was there to pick up the petitions. And Eric Tincture, with a very rude voice, says, "I do not know who you are. Go find someone else to work for," and hung up the phone really rudely. So anyway, I called him back and said something stupid like, "I'm going to put you in the newspaper or expose you." I can't remember exactly what I said to him, but I'm sure everybody out there listening would probably be as pissed off as I was, because I spent a lot of expense money driving all the way from San Diego to Colorado to Florida. It was like over 3,000 miles, and all the food and everything. And by the time I reached Florida, I was running out of money, and I needed the work desperately. However, Eric Tincture basically acted ridiculously, and since I called him back and tried to put him in his place, I got blacklisted there in Florida. And this was about, I believe this was 2019 when this happened. But anyway, I was an independent contractor, used my own expense money to get there, and then when I showed up, I was basically hung out to dry. And a lot of events took place after that. I kind of lost my mind, and was sleeping in my vehicle with another petitioner who was also out of work, basically because there was no paperwork. So we were both left homeless on the streets. Luckily, the other petitioner was a musician, and he brought a couple of guitars, so we put a hat out and played some music and sang some songs to raise some money. But anyway, that's a long story short. That's just how it goes in the petition industry.